Hello there. It's been quite a while. I think it's been about 3 months since I last did one of these. The main reason for that is I've been crazy busy, mainly with work, which has been rather rubbish. But there's loads of things I've been doing which I'll fill you in on. And also, work has been a bloody nightmare for the last 3 months. But I'd rather not dwell on that. So, to avoid this being a really long video, I'm just going to go straight into the stuff I've been doing. So, quite soon after the last video, I bought a Switch 2, primarily for my sons, but obviously I've been playing it. I've got the new Mario Kart on there, and that is really fun. I enjoy the tour races where you do like 6 in a row just as one continuous race with a knockout on it. And it's the only one that my sons will actually play with me, because I've had this rule since before I had children that as soon as any of my children beat me in a Grand Prix at Mario Kart, that I will retire from all forms of gaming. And they're getting to an age where they're starting to get better than me, so they have refused to play against me. So yeah, that helped me get over my my little bit of a Balatro addiction that I had. But the things I've been doing while I've not been making videos, I've got a little list down there, so you will see me bobbing my head down. I went to see the Rocky Horror Show at Norwich Theatre Royal with Jason Donovan in it. Not the best time I've seen it, but it was the first time I've ever been to it dressed up. And it was alright. It was the first time also I've been where there were so few people dressed up, so I stuck out like a sore thumb. But going back to my hotel afterwards, I kept getting stopped in the street by people commenting on how well I walk in heels. So maybe I've missed a trick. Maybe I should go in some form of career where I can wear heels on a regular basis. Then I've got such a list of things I've done. I don't remember which order I did them in, so it's going to be a bit higgledy-piggledy. I went to Liverpool for a couple of days to go to the Timeless Gaming Festival. I went last year when it was in Bury at Arcade Club, and that was absolutely brilliant. I didn't enjoy it as much this year because it just felt a bit too spread out, and to go to talks and then go and play games, there was just too much of a walk and too much of a gap. But I know that from last year, one of the complaints was that it was too cramped, so it's a difficult balance to do that. I didn't enjoy it as much this year. In the second day, I left about halfway through just to explore Liverpool, which it's a nice city, but nothing particularly special in my eyes, although I'm sure there are some people who think it's absolutely amazing. Doesn't matter, I'm not a fan. I also went to, this is the next thing that's on the list, even though I'm not sure where it fits in. I went to Great Yarmouth Racecourse for their Superheroes Day, and it was all supposed to be like superheroes walking around all day for photo opportunities and loads of fun and games and stuff like that. And there were 3 fairground rides, 4 stalls to buy kind of generic Temu merchandise. I think rather than there being like superheroes everywhere, in the 4 hours that we were there, I think there were 3 Star Wars characters, and as we were leaving, there was Super Mario came out. So it was pretty much just a normal day at the races, but it was just a bit naff. So again, left really early. Didn't enjoy it too much. But then after that, I went to Barcelona for a few days. I've never been to Spain before, so my plan there was literally to enjoy food and just enjoy walking around the city. Went to the beach, and I've never liked sitting on the beach, but it was just so nice there, so warm, so lovely. I fell asleep on the beach and got a wee bit sunburnt, but I'm halfway ginger, so I'm always going to get sunburnt. The funniest thing on there though was when I was sat on the beach, first kind of getting relaxed and getting settled, I suddenly had this Chinese woman coming over and was like, "Would you like a massage for €40? It's like, no, I don't want to spend €40 for one thing, but also I don't want to get a massage on the beach. But there were some blokes just to my left, and they were all taking it in turns getting massages, and it was just seemed a bit weird to me, but maybe that's normal everywhere where you go on beach holidays, because, again, I've never had a beach holiday, but the food that I had there was superb. There was a restaurant I went to which did some really reasonably priced tapas, and it was superb. The prawns were really, really good. And I also had a really nice paella as well. And also, I went to McDonald's at the airport on the way back, having said I was going to avoid fast food while I was there. And I had a pistachio McFlurry, which was very, very nice, and I'd like to see them over here. They may already be over here, but I don't keep up to date with what's going on with McDonald's. Who knows? But the night before I flew out, I went to see the new Toxic Avenger movie, because it was literally on at the cinema for like 5 days, one viewing a day at 10:30 at night, and I had to leave the airport at like 3 in the morning, so I thought may as well stay up and just go to the cinema. It was alright. I didn't understand why it was classed as unrated, because I've seen far worse things at the cinema in terms of violence and gore, but it's decent enough. I do prefer the Troma original, but it was good enough. Talking to Troma, I watched Frankenhooker a couple of months ago. That is bloody hilarious if you've not seen it. And I've been to the cinema quite a few times in the last few months, but the other highlight was I went to see Jaws in 3D for the 50th anniversary, and the 3D was done so well. I'd never realised in all my years of watching Jaws just how often the camera is like half submerged, and like when it was one of those, the water was literally like right up to your face, and it was lovely. It was really, really good. So that's other bits that I've done. I also did run Norwich, which is the Norwich 10k. I did it 10 years ago and then signed up back in March as part of a bit of a midlife crisis thing with turning 40. But I did bugger all training, but I got through it. I survived. I finished, I think, 7,410th out of about 7,700. So not particularly good, but I still finished it. And there was a group of about 6 people running it who were dressed as boobs. They were running for a charity called Little Lifts that provide care packages for people with cancer. And I was just determined that I was not going to get beaten by the boobs. But there was one point when I was running through the grounds of Norwich Cathedral where I had a stone wall to my side, and I was kind of running like that because it was about 7 or 8 kilometres in and I was dead on my feet. And I looked around and I just had this ring of 6 boobs around me, kind of pinning me to the wall. It was bizarre. The kind of thing that as a teenager I'd have dreamed of, but wasn't quite the dream that I would have had back then. But having survived that, I then decided to sign up for another run. So this Saturday there's an inflatables run at the Norfolk Showground, which is just, I'm doing a 5k for it. I think you can do 2.5, 5, 7.5 and 10k. I'm just doing 5, and it's just these massive inflatable obstacles. And once again, I have done no training for it whatsoever. So we'll see how I survive with that. But then after that, I should be going to Slice and Dice, which is a board game cafe in Norwich. I've seen it, I've played, I do apologise, I've played their games and stuff when I've been at different festivals in Norwich, and it's like a full vegan cake menu, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully my brother's going to be joining me, because otherwise it could get a bit lonely. And other than that, I've, as you may have noticed, I'm not in my computer chair anymore. I'm in a much wider space. I'm not bunched into a corner, and that's because I've completely rearranged my room. As you know, I basically just live in my room these days, and I just had the bed bang in the middle, but I've shunted that to the side, so it's literally now like I've got a bit of a bed sit, and then my bed's in the corner just for sleeping. So it means that I can actually spread out and do things like this, sitting in a nice comfortable armchair, because I'm getting older now. I need a comfortable armchair. But I think, the other thing I did, and this is a bit of a disappointing one, I went to Kings Lynn tail end of last month, and I used to love going to Kings Lynn to search for retro games and stuff. One of the shops that I go to, I can't remember what it's called, something like Once Old Was New, something like that. that happened to be closed on the day I was there. So I went to Retro Retreat, which used to be fantastic for retro games, and I went in there, and since I was last there, it's changed from being a really good retro game shop to being 90% Pokemon cards, which I don't have a problem with Pokemon or Pokemon cards, and I appreciate they're far more profitable than a lot of games will be, or they can be anyway. But it was really disappointing because they literally had like one two-sided rack of retro games, and they weren't in particularly good condition, and the amount of retro game stock they had is a fraction of what I've got in the garage. So it was just really disappointing and a bit of a waste of a 100-mile round trip. So, oh well, never mind. But that's part of why I don't have very many pickups, despite the fact that it's been 3 months since I last did one of these. So, with that done, I'm going to move on to showing you my pickups. They're not in any particular order, because I've picked them up over such a period of time. But the other day, I was in Norwich to get some food. I went to a restaurant called Tallow, and it's literally just all they do is steak and sides. You can't book a reservation for it, but it's I can't remember what cut of steak is, but it's not like rump or sirloin. It's a little bit more obscure, but they sous vide it, and literally they just serve it medium rare. That's pretty much your option unless you want well done. But that was bloody amazing. You can't book tables for it. It is literally a case of you wait outside and it's a queue. You go in when you go in. But earlier in the day I was walking around the city, and there's a really good retro toys shop called Cosmic Joe's. Literally 2 doors down there's a vintage Sue Rider shop. Next door to that, in the window of that, they had a load of ZX Spectrum games. I considered picking up the whole lot, but thought I'm going to be a bit selective with what I pick up here. So I got this one purely because I liked the cover art, and it's Bounty Bob Strikes Back, which it's a fun little bit of cartoon art on the back. I know nothing about this game. I don't know when I'm going to get around to playing it, but let's see. Bob needs your help more than ever to guide him through the mine. Mutant organisms have multiplied and overrun the mine entirely. So you've got to get through the mine and defeat the plans of the evil Yukon Johan. So, very grandiose description there, but we'll see how that actually turns out. I bought myself Scrabble for the Sinclair ZX Spectrum, which I do like my board games. I do like Scrabble. It's just I struggle to find people willing to play board games with me. So at least if I can play it on a console, then all the better. But this is the one that really caught my eye, partly because of what I've been up to earlier in the year, and I didn't know that there was a Rocky Horror Show game. With a bit of a mind flip, you're into the time slip, nothing can ever be the same. Oh, it's literally just lyrics. So there's no description of the game on the back. It is literally just a quote from Time Warp. But it's a big selling point, actual screenshots on the back. So if I can get my Spectrum working, I'll take a good look at that. Oh, that would have been pretty cool to get. There's a card on the inside, obviously with the instructions, but for $4.95 including P&P, you can get their t-shirt saying "Frankie says, don't dream it, play it." So that would have been a cool bit of merch. I wonder whether there's anyone out there who still has that t-shirt or who claimed it in the first place. We'll see. If you've got it, let me know and just chuck me a picture if you could, because that would be really, really cool. In Kings Lynn, I picked up a few bits in CEX. I didn't get that in CEX though. So what I've picked up, I've got some more UMDs, and as you know, in UMDs I go for films that I've never heard of and never seen. So I've got Lords of Dogtown, which it's like a teenage coming of age story, took skateboarding to the extreme and changed the world of sports forever. It does look pretty naff. The thing that I find it weird about it though is like the certificate for it is stickers on it rather than actually like on the what's the word, on the inlay at all. So I need to look into that a little bit more. And I've heard of this before, but I've never seen it, and that is The Smoking Room, which is a sitcom based in a smoking room, which sounds like the kind of thing that was popular around 20 years ago. Is it good? Let me know. It's got Robert Webb in it, and kind of back when Robert Webb was really, really funny. I've watched some of the new Mitchell and Webb series, and I've not enjoyed it at all. It's just every single one of their series tends to start with like a really amazingly brilliant sketch at the start, like the Nazis saying, "Are we the baddies?" or the Romans with the duck call for Caesar referring to himself in third person. Some of those ones are amazing, but they just then disintegrate into lower quality, and it's just disintegrated rapidly. I've found. If you disagree, then please feel free to disagree with me. The other bits that I've picked up in King's Lynn were Ghostbusters, the video game, on the PS3. I bought this when it first came out, and I think I played it avidly for about 3 days, and then never played it again. But considering I like my games based on movies, let's have a look, see whether I can actually get through it a bit further. I did buy myself a PS3 to go in here the other day, so at least I've got the method to play it sitting in my comfy chair. As you know, I love Jurassic Park, I like dinosaurs. I did enjoy the new Jurassic World movie to an extent. I didn't enjoy the bits with the family in it. I thought you could have quite easily cut them out and made it a really tight, really focused kind of action thriller with horror elements in it. And I just wasn't interested in that family at all. But that's just me. But going along with the dinosaur theme, I've got myself Turok Evolution on the PS2, which I've never played a Turok game at all, but it looks a bit like, from the pictures on the back anyway, it looks a bit like GoldenEye but with dinosaurs. So hopefully it'll be a bit like that, and I'll have a bit of fun. And this one, again, it's just, I like cartoons, so I've got myself Animaniacs, the Great Edgar Hunt. So I liked Animaniacs on the Mega Drive. This is 3D Animaniacs, so let's have some fun with it. And the other UMD that I've picked up this month, yeah, it is this month I've picked it up actually. I nearly picked this up in Last Level Games a couple of months ago, but I didn't have the money on me at that point. But it's a movie based on a game, so ties in perfectly with what I'm interested in, and that is Silent Hill. I've never played a Silent Hill game, so is it worth me playing any of the games before I watch this, or should I be alright just watching it as is? I haven't got a clue. So that's everything apart from my Mega Drive pickups. When I picked up Silent Hill, I just wanted to get a Mega Drive game because I've not bought many for a long time. And the only one that they had in stock that I haven't played is Another World. Following a freak accident, scientist Lester Chaikin materialises dazed and confused in unfamiliar surroundings. This is not Earth. This is another world. The fight for survival has begun. I've not really heard anything about this game before, but the guy in the shop said, in his opinion, it's one of the best games that there is on the Mega Drive. Have you played it? Let me know what it's like. And finally, I'm still edging closer to getting the Mega Drive games based on movies. I've picked up another one, which means I've only got 4 left to go after this. They're all relatively pricey, but they are still ones that I'm going to be getting hopefully over the next few months. Just need to get some overtime in. But what I've picked up today, that's not today, a couple of months ago, is T2 Judgment Day. So now I've got all 3 of the Terminator games. I know there's still Terminator versus Robocop. That's not a priority for me at the moment because it's not based on a movie. It's a combination of 2 movies merged into a game. But that handful of things is my pickups for the last few months. Not overly inspiring. I've not really been too enthused with buying a lot of games at the moment because everything just seems so expensive at the moment. It'll be things that I'll be thinking, yeah, I'm happy to pay like £15 for that. I'll go to the shop and they'll be 18 to 20, and it's just, although £3 to £5 isn't a huge amount in the big scheme of things, at the same time, it's still like 30% more than I want to pay. So I'm battling my collecting urges with my not wanting to get ripped off urges. So we'll have to wait and see how I get on with buying more. I've got a few car boots lined up. I want to get to a few gaming markets as well in the near future. I've got nothing lined up. So that is the video. There is just one extra little thing I want to add. Over the last few videos, I've mentioned a website called MakeMyCards.art, basically where you can design your own Cards Against Humanity style game. So you can do your own black cards, your own white cards, so they can be bespoke to you. I think it's something that is ideal for like birthdays, anniversaries, stag do's in particular. I think it would be superb. And I did one for the Unofficial Controller podcast. I've spoken to the guy behind the game loads over the last few months, and I did a beta test because the physical copies aren't completely rolled out yet. So I was beta tester for that, and to thank me for being a beta tester, he's given me a discount code to share with anyone that I know. So if you go to MakeMyCards.art, which I'll put the link in the description. He does PDF copies of the games for you to print off yourself, and he can do physical, but you need to email separately to ask him to do it. But if you put in the discount code box Digital Monkery with a capital D, capital M, but all as one word, you will get 30% off the PDF decks. That lasts until the end of the year. And if you do email wanting a physical copy, mention that discount code, and at the moment, each physical deck is being priced as he's working out the best way to get it priced. So he'll be able to do something for you. Can't guarantee how much that will be. But if you do fancy making your own card game, feel free. But I do need to add, I make no money from it whatsoever. It's just, I said I'd like to share something with other people and to try and help them grow. So if you fancy it, please have a look. But that is all that I've got to share with you. That's all there is time for. So thank you for watching if you'd lasted this long, and goodbye.